Hey everybody, it's Romania Black, and we are going to be listening to something a little bit different today. So, I'll be honest, as you all are watching this, I have not recorded the rebuild reaction yet. I wanted to go ahead and do this recording because, one, I wanted to wait until End of Evangelion came out on YouTube so that I could get comments about that to incorporate into the rebuilds, but I also wanted to have some time to read the classified article, which is like the PS2 game information that I've been recommended. I wanted to get a little bit more time to research that, so I thought I'll go ahead and record the Evangelion audio drama CD and then dive into the rebuild after that. So this is going to premiere a little bit out of order, but then again, it's Neon Genesis, so should we be surprised? Right? I kind of did that with the scripts too, so that should be unsurprising. But so I do have some comments from the End of Evangelion Patreon viewing, as well as the Death True reaction as well, that I'm going to talk about. And then when you guys have watched the rebuild, I'll probably have had more comments with that as well. But I was recommended, I don't remember exactly if it was Alex Cornejo that recommended this or who it was on Patreon, so I apologize, but I was recommended the Evangelion audio drama, which I didn't even know existed. But apparently there's lots of Evangelion things out there. I'm not going to be able to react to all of them, honestly, but the audio drama sounded interesting. It's 3 parts. They're like 8 minutes each, so it's not anything crazy, but it's after the end audio drama CD. And so it seems like it's something that any Evangelion fan would need to listen to. So I found on YouTube someone had separated it out into 3 parts, and it has an English subtitle. So I was like, good. It has actually like information on it. So I'm pretty excited about that. So I've got my headphones. Obviously, for copyright reasons, the audio is not going to be present in this audio drama, so I'm going to put my headphones on and I will time it out and you guys can start with me each part, right? And I'll have links down below to the parts as well, so you can kind of sync it up for yourself. Yay. But before we do that, I wanted to address a few comments. Again, these are from the Patreon reactions to End of Evangelion, as well as the Death True reactions from some other people. But I've got to pull up the Discord to read a couple of these comments, so you'll have to give me a second. I almost forgot to do that. But yeah, so with Neon Genesis, I pinned this. Let me go to it to show you all. So with the voice actress, let's just go ahead and talk about this. The voice actress for Shinji, Ogata Megumi, amazing voice actress who played him. Apparently the scene in End of Evangelion, gold splits mean ducks, which is the best handle ever, was talking about this interview that happened from Nagata, the interviewer, to Ogata, talking about the beginning of Evangelion, End of Evangelion, where Ogata has to like pretend to masturbate in front of Asuka. And I pulled this up, what they said. They said, the interviewer says, that reminds me, in the old movie version, there was a scene where Shinji was masturbating. How is that recorded? And Ogata answers like this, says, oh, it's obvious, but that was my first time doing something like that. Laughs. I thought to myself that I can't get this wrong just because I'm a female. So I talked to Tachiki Fumihiko, who voices Gendo, and said, Dad, this is my first time. I'm not sure I'll be able to do this right. So if I get it wrong, please tell me, in Shinji's voice. The interviewer laughs, and Ogata says, after recording ended, we went, how did I do, Dad? And he said, you did well, Shinji. And Ogata says, yes, I got praised by my dad. What happened to these voice actors on set, y'all? These voice actors went through hell in this series is what happened, to the point where they were like, this is fine. I thought that was insane. But I also had on here that both Bright Girl and Akira talked about this on Patreon, but it was the idea that Megumi Ogata, Shinji's voice actor, that Asuka's original final iconic line in End of Evangelion was, idiot, I won't let you kill me. But Ogata thought that this, along with the face caress, was inspired by a female friend of Anno's, and who had once said that to a boyfriend when he tried to choke her in a rage, which is pretty disturbing. But they didn't think the line fit right. And so when they were recording, Anno didn't think the line worked and he wanted to change it. So he asked Yuko Miyamura, who is Asuka's VA, Miyamura, just imagine you're sleeping in your bed and a stranger sneaks into your room. He can rape you any time as you are asleep, but doesn't. Instead, he masturbates looking at you, and when you wake up, you know what he did to you. What do you think you would say? And she replied, disgusting. And Anno said, I thought as much. And that became the final line of the movie. What? Like, it's just so insane. It's just so insane. And Akira kind of added to that, saying that it's kind of like talking about like the otaku culture and like kind of sexualizing Asuka and Rei and all them, and just how that works, and just kind of you know, pointing out like the bad aspects of that. And I was like, that's just so bizarre, right? I can't imagine being a voice actress and someone asking you that and you're like, yep, going to use it in the movie now. So those comments were interesting. But also Jimmy Russell talks about like Shinji. When we watch the recap, it actually shows Shinji to be kind of like a protagonist, like a shonen protagonist he's always meant to be. Because the way that the recap of Death and True kind of is organized is it shows that Shinji has actually done things despite his own self-hatred that has helped others, and he has saved others despite him thinking he hasn't done anything. So I thought that was pretty cool. Jimmy Russell also noted that the end of Death, the cello parts are replaced with piano bits. And having just watched the reaction to the episode 24 scripts, I thought that was cool that it was a piano, because in the scripts, it was originally Kaworu playing the piano instead of the violin. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, so my other comments I had was that Melania the Severed talked about how the SEAL members in End of Evangelion, they melted into LCL fluid, probably because during the instrumentality, they were accepting of it. Whereas the Nerve crew, who had no clue what was going on, were freaked out and they popped because their AT fields they still had up were trying to keep the rays at bay from getting in there and starting the instrumentality project. So I thought that was a really cool observation in that moment. But also, Melania talked about how Kaworu persuading Shinji to let go of his ego. Yeah, and if you rewatch End of Evangelion, once Kaworu like appears in front of Shinji kind of lets his guard down, and the next image we see is the Lance of Longinus piercing through his AT field into Shinji. So basically, Shinji kind of got it on with Kaworu, despite it all. Shinji got on. I said in End of Evangelion, I'm like, man, Shinji got it on with everybody except Kaworu. Nope, got it on with Kaworu too, right? But I like that Melania said, you know, Lilith, she needed Shinji's consent before starting the instrumentality project. I was like, yep, I don't know what was up. Consent isn't just for ladies to have. Guys have to have it too. Oh, End of Evangelion. So Viper Leone Navarre talked about how Seal in episode 23, how them using Ritsuko, this was a nice callback to episode 23, them using Ritsuko, they weren't necessarily wanting the scientist side of her to come out and be used, but the woman's side, because they knew that when they revealed that Gendo had betrayed her, she would have saw that in such a negative light that she would have taken that betrayal and decided to interfere with Gendo's plans. I was like, that's a really cool call. I like that she would have felt motivated to do that after the reveal. Nice call there. I like that comment. Chris M talked about how Shinji, despite Masato's advances, Shinji is not motivated by sex. He's motivated by love. Like, Masato tries to make all these, like, sexual motivations in End of Evangelion, like making out with him and telling him to come back for more. But that's not what Shinji wants. Shinji doesn't want sex. He wants love, right? Which makes all the more sense why Kaworu is so appealing to Shinji, because Kaworu doesn't want sex in episode 24. He, in no way, shape, or form, tries to make sexual advances towards Shinji, unless you count him putting his hand over Shinji's, which is kind of like what Masato did, but unless you count that as his only sexual act, Kaworu just wanted to love Shinji, and that's all Shinji wanted in return. So I thought that was a good comment to bring up. Butcher Carl talked about how that there's a scene that the song in End of Evangelion, the one that I said was the Care Bears song, they said, no, it's kind of more like a riff off of Hey Jude. And I was like, oh. I haven't gotten a chance to listen to it yet, but they commented that it was like Hey Jude mixed with really, really depressing lyrics. And I'm like, well, that checks out. So I'm going to listen to that. So thank you for pointing that out. Because I was trying to think what that song reminded me of, and I was like, it's kind of like a Care Bears movie, but it's not really. Hey Jude is a rip off that. That's a good description. Christopher Peterson talked about how at the very end, Yui talks about becoming a monolith, and like basically she's in the EVA unit floating endlessly through space eternally as a symbol that humanity existed. And I'm like, Christopher was saying, well, that kind of sucks for Yui. And I'm like, yeah, but it seems like that's what she wanted. So it's really, really curious. Like, did she want that? Was that what she intended all along? It's fascinating, right? Basement, is it Basement My writing is horrible because the pen I was using is bad. But Basement Revelance or whatever talked about that there was a live action. Yes, so there's a live action 11-minute scene that was supposed to be at the end of Evangelion. Like, it was an alternate scene. It had the same musical score, everything. It was only 11 minutes long, and was just like. And they talked about it eventually originally meaning to be at the end of Evangelion. I went and watched it. It's weird. It's weird. It's a live action scene that's 11 minutes long, and it starts out, it has like sexual undertones, like with Masato and Kaji and everything, but it's live action. It talks about this girl going through like her daily life, going to the grocery store, going to work and everything. The same musical score is used that we see in the live action scene that actually made the final cut. And I get what the live action scene is trying to do. It still makes same kind of thematic, like same thematic overtones as what's in End of Evangelion, but it's just too long. It's too long and it deviates way too far from the actual plot of the movie. I'm glad Anno cut it down and didn't use the full 11 minutes, because that would have, if I had gone through everything we'd just gone through of having Shinji become like one with Rei and Kaworu and all of them and Yui and Adam and Lilith and did the whole instrumentality, and then we cut to 11 minutes of a live action scene that was similar in tone and thematic elements, but totally unrelated to the rest of the movie, I would have zoned out. I'd been like, nope, too abstract, too art house, Anno. You gotta keep it consistent somewhat. So it was a neat watch, and I'm glad that you had me watch it, that you sent me the link to it, or that you told me to go look it up, but I'm glad it was cut down. Very much glad it was cut down. And I'm sorry that I can't get your name right on here. I've wrote it down. There's like an R. It looks like Revelance, but I know that's wrong. So thank you, Basement. Alexander Q talks about it's interesting. Alexander Q brought up this really cool thing about the recital practice in the Death True reaction, and that they're all on different wavelengths until Kaworu comes in, which I was like, that's really cool. All of them, Asuka, Rei, and Shinji, they're all on different wavelengths and aren't syncing up quite right. But then once Kaworu gets in, everybody starts to sync up. And if you align that with End of Evangelion, once Kaworu gets involved, then it's like the instrumentality begins and they all sync up. I thought that was really, really cool. But also, Alexander Q brought up a really good point. Shinji shows up early to the recital, like of his own volition. And up until now, Shinji has not shown up early to anything. He's always been like there right on time, but it shows that Shinji actively wanted to be there early, which him taking that initiative seems to kind of counter the idea that Shinji is portrayed of being like, oh, I don't care. So it's like, that's so interesting. I really think that's fascinating to think about, that Shinji arrived that early. It's cool. And then finally, Bright Girl and Akira talk about the disgusting dialogue with the Discord. So those were my comments from Patreon and YouTube so far for Death True and End of Evangelion. I'm sure those of you that have watched the rebuild right now will by now have seen more comments come out from the YouTube version of End of Evangelion. So there we go. But I thought that was interesting. So I'm really excited to watch this and see what all happens with this After the End drama CD. I have no clue what it's going to be about. I'm going to put my headphones on, listen to it, and we'll just see what happens, right? I'm sure it's End of Evangelion, so even if it's funny or kind of lighthearted, it's going to be weird. But in a good way, right? So let's find out, shall we? We are going to start, and I'm going to sync these up for each part. Part 1 of Neon Genesis After the Drama audio CD, and we're going to do that here in 3, 2, 1, and let's go. So this started in January of 2002. So this is like 20 years old, which is insane. 20 years old. A fictional comedy radio drama recorded by the original cast. Cool. Due to unexpected popularity, we just did. Toji, he's here. And Ida. Our idols are enjoying vacation. So this is like an alternate... Oh my god, we're going to talk about this. A capitalist world. Oh my god. Economics foundation of our society and our popularity. Oh my god. This is so fast. I mean... Nice! On the nose. The script was due today. What? Oh, so this is going to be funny. What? Wow. A fate of a popular show. Huh? I love it's like The Office in the background. No, come on. Go on strike. Where's Shinji in all this? Oh, please. Kids these days, this Gen Z is cynical. Well, of course, Ida. Maya just changing her tune. The return of you-know-who. Is that Shinji? Oh no, it's Nagisa! They knew! Oh! Are you freaking kidding? Amazing. Asuka, that's what you get, girl. That's what you get. Huh? This is chaos. This is absolute madness. I just saying the thing that, yeah. Oh my god. Oh my god. They're like just arguing in the background. Changing the story direction completely. Why not? What? And the drum. So they all have to suggest what the story's going to be about? Sex appeal! Yes, for you! Yes! Yes! And there'll be more service too! Plug girls! Doesn't sound right. Oh no. Ah! What? Oh my god! Oh my god. Oh my god. What? A line has been crossed here, yes! Ray doesn't have a problem with anything. A chaste maiden. Comes with the job. My dog, of course, is going to bark. Nothing to reveal. Is it true for the guys, though? I don't blame him! Oh, no! You're going to kill Shinji. What? No! 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 Gendo does not get to bleed from the nose from Asuka. No! Stretching some morals! Oh my god. What is this? Oh, real issue, other problems. Oh my god. What? Who the main character is? Well, yeah. Brooding kid was a fundamental mistake. Yeah, no, he hasn't. That's your first line? No signs of regret. There's no way to change him. Change the main character. Of course you don't. From Bakushinji. Gloominess personified. Oh my god. Throw some shade. Of course you have no qualms with her. Oh my god. Oh my god. That imitation. Bakushinji. Wow. This is already so off the rails. I can't even. The high school love comedy. A blazing transfer student. Oh my god. Off the rails. Yakuza. Oh my god! Ah! Oh my god! This is amazing. This is amazing. Oh my god. Before we move on, we need to talk about this. It's split into 3 parts, so we have to talk about this before we move on. But oh my god, what is this madness? This is absolute madness. So I don't even know where. So the whole premise of this audio drama CD is that the whole premise is that the series is being renewed, so they're starting a new season. But they've called everyone back, but they're like, we need to redo this and make this right this time. It seems like such a meta on the nose thing with Anno being like let's change it to where people actually think that we're doing good, not just going by what Anno wanted. And so they're like, we have to be popular. Economics is the foundation of our society and everything. And I love that they're talking about the capitalism of it. It's great. And so then they're like, and such of the on-the-nose references to Evangelion, when Asuka says it's better than lying in a hospital bed, I'm like, on the nose. But then they're like, we need something brought back that will increase our popularity. They're like, we need to bring someone back, bring someone back to the brink. And of course they bring back Kaworu. Kaworu Nagisa comes back in because of the popularity polls. And then Asuka, girl, she calls him out with a horrible slur about him being gay. And he's like, I wish you would make statements when you lack the evidence for them. Kaworu's like, let's be honest. There's not been tangible proof that I'm gay in this series. Let's be real. He's like, I suppose the only things you lack are restraint and brains. It's like, ooh, that's on the nose because it's true. And Asuka can only tell him to shut up. So then they talk about what can they do to make to make the series better. And Fuyu-chan, sex appeal. I feel like only Fuyu-chan can get away with saying that. What the hell? But then Gendo's like, yes, that seems like the priority here. So they make the suits see-through, and it says after the end part 1, there will be more fan service. And they make like it to where the plug girl suits are like see-through. And she's like, you can see our nipples and everything. And they're like, you're young, it's fine. She's like, no, it's not. I like that Kaworu is the one that points out that Shinji has a nosebleed. Because again, our poor boy, he is attracted to Asuka. That part was fine. Shinji with the nosebleed, seeing Asuka, tracks with the rest of the series. Gendo with the nosebleed. Burn it with fire. I gotta kill it with fire. I can't. No. 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 Stop, Gendo. No. Why? No. No more of that. No. So yeah, so then from there, they're debating on what to do, and they're finally like, well, let's just abandon sex appeal right now. Let's talk about like the main character of all this, right? Who's going to be the main character? Because Shinji is not a good main character. I feel like they're just calling out everybody, like saying that Shinji wasn't a good main character, and they're like, no, Shinji can't be the main character in all this. So who's it going to be? And Shinji's like, hey, hold on. And so she's like, well, it's apparent that Asuka wants to become the main character. And then they talk about Rei doesn't talk enough. And so they decide, well, okay, if Shinji's going to be the main character and Rei doesn't talk enough, Fu points out that she's the most popular because I think it's Kaworu and Rei that are the most popular, fitting, in Japan. And so they're like, well, let's do the high school love comedy formula. That sounds like it'll work, right? And so they go to class 2A, and I like that Asuka pretends to be like, in a Yakuza dialect, she's like going to be the bully, like the school bully, to like pick on Rei. And she's like, should I punch you? And Rei's like, go ahead. And she's like, well, if you want to talk before I do so, go ahead. And she's like, okay. And so then Rei just reads really fast. And she says, I've been listening all this time with you going off and carrying on. And what am I supposed to say now? Here you are all jealous just because you got half of my votes in the popularity poll. Like, she says it so fast. It's so uncommon for Rei. And then she says, I mean, really, if all you have is youth and energy, you'll be limited in whatever you do. And Maya's like, this isn't really sounding like a love comedy anymore. And she's like, I'll teach you that cute looks won't get you everywhere with some physical education. So yeah, and so I was like, you don't say. So Rei's like gonna beat her up. And then she starts slapping Asuka. And Ritsuko's like, well, I don't really know what the problem is. And Fuyu's like, this isn't good. And then Gendo says, it's not the plot that needs changing. That isn't my Rei out there. Ugh! I don't like the fact that he says my Rei. It's kind of disturbing. Not having it. Not having it, y'all. But, oh my God, what is this madness? What is this madness? So, yeah. So, we're going to start part 2 now. This is bonkers and insane. And I'm here for it. So, we're going to start part 2. And we are going to do that here in 3, 2, 1. And let's go. Power Evas. So we're keeping Rei as she is. Uh-huh. Can we break the pattern? What awesome idea do you have, Asuka? A Sentai show? Like Power Rangers? What? Only children and otaku watch them. That's what I'm going after. Oh, well, that's hard to do. You can't really do that. We have 5 pilots, so everything's already set. Yeah, it is like that. The one wearing red! The Red Ranger, of course! The color of justice. It can't be me! Oh, he'd be the White Ranger. It's a lot. She is right. Yeah. That's the only reason she says I suggested it. Oh my God. What colors are they? Kaworu has to be the White Ranger. Ah! Oh no, member scramble. Roger, they're like not into it at all. I love this is the stock footage they used for this. It's great. Crimson of Justice. Second red! Huh? Oh, which colors are who? Blanca's her mute. First white. Oh, Ray's white. So Kaworu's gonna be black, right? She comes with a job! What an insult! Hardcore Baka, the antisocial third blue, so Shinji's the Blue Ranger. I mustn't run away! Bumpkins green, fiery slacker, fourth green. Can I get down now? Slacker. Annoying crow black, narcissistic, and homosexual fifth black. Songs are nice! Oh my god, Asuka, why are you so homophobic? Oh my god! No! And it's just her dealing damage. Oh my god. It would make sense for Kaworu to be the Black Ranger, though. Wow. Toji being the slacker is so interesting. Yeah, she is hogging the show. They haven't budged an inch. No phone calls, good or bad. The fax. Man, a fax machine. Do a retake. The beast who shouted, "I at the world." Oh. We've learned our lesson. Oh, she likes the Sentai show. Like a candle flame. Why not take in the viewers' opinions? Shinji knows what's up. Good idea, Shinji-kun! With the trends. We don't have any choice. Oh. Huh. Oh. Uh-huh. The power up. Yep. Okay. Yeah. Something bigger, not just color swap. I like that Masato brought that up, though. Your ultra denseness! They gotta sell weapons independently as toy parts. Fuyu knows what's up. He's already thought this out. Of course, Gendo has no qualms. Switch on. Is this gonna be like Transformers? This is like Transformers, isn't it? The Eva Jet. That's so good. A sedan to jet. A train. Of course, Asuka would be a train. Just barreling through. She's a bullet train. Okay. It's a different train than I thought it'd be. So what do the others do? The Eagle bullet train. Okay. Eva ship! And of course, Ray would be a battleship. Which is funny. We'll talk about this. The oil tanker. And it's Ida saying it. Oh, cute. I love that little connection. So just the three of them combining? The editing of this video is amazing. I'm a sumo wrestler. The famous makeout spot, Rainbow Bridge. Oh my god. I'm a toy manufacturer's fantasy. Oh my god. Wow. This would have been a lot of fun to listen to them record in the studio, just being ridiculous. Not good! Wow. And then the beginning of the end are all along the watchtower. Oh man, the whole thing about the Sentai Rangers is absolutely amazing. And so I love that it's kind of hinted that Asuka wanted that she likes the Power Rangers, and so she wanted to do it. But she is right. The Red Ranger in all those, the red one is always the leader. And that kind of seems like Anno did that with Asuka in this series to subvert that expectation, because Asuka came on the scene thinking she was going to be the leader and everything because she's in red. And then we find out she's like the most emotionally damaged out of all of them. So I love that. I thought that we were going to have Rey. I don't know. I guess I didn't realize what color Rey would be, but I figured the black moon would go with Rey and the white would go with Kaworu, but it makes sense for it to be the opposite, right? So I like that they all have like a catchphrase. And so Asuka like takes lead, but she still calls herself the second child, right? So I love that she says that she's like she tells the angel to halt and then explains who they all are. And they all have their catchphrases. I'm going to go back and look at this. This color of crimson is the crimson of justice, representing effort and hardiness. Second red, like all good things, right? And her catchphrase is "Hi there." That's her catchphrase. "Hi there." And then from there, she says, representing their suit color is as blank as her brain, mute and stagnant, first white. But then Rey says, "I don't mind. She comes with the job." I feel like that's kind of an insult to... I feel that's kind of like Rey saying, "I don't like Asuka at all." I'm forced to be here. And so then Shinji as the Blue Ranger makes so much sense, though. His suit color is the blue of depression. The blue of depression, a hardcore baka, the antisocial third blue. Oh, that's actually really sad. The blue of depression. Because that's so true of Shinji. But I always think of like the Blue Ranger is kind of like Shire, right? And Shinji's catchphrase. I love that Shinji's catchphrase is "I mustn't run away." And so then Toji's is interesting, right? I feel like if we had Ida as part of them, Ida would be the Blue Ranger, because the Blue Ranger in the American adaptation was kind of brainy, kind of nerdy. So I figured Ida would be, but Ida's not here. His suit color is a country bumpkins green, a fiery slacker, fourth green. That's so interesting for one to call Toji a country bumpkin because they were in the middle of the city. I never thought of it that way. But also say he was a slacker. Like he didn't want to take part in anything. I guess that's what she's getting to. And Toji's catchphrase that he says is, "Can I get down now? Like, can I leave? Oh my god." And then her thing, this was clearly made in the late 90s, early 2000s, is that Asuka says his suit color is an annoying crow black, narcissistic and homosexual, fifth black. I'm like, what does that have to do? She's just so hung up on the fact that she thinks he's gay. And his catchphrase is like, "Songs are nice." Oh god, and obviously it doesn't work. So then they resort to the Transformers method. We'll just go with the Transformers method. And I like that switch on is the thing. I like that Shinji is the jet, he's the plane, and Asuka is the train, and Rey is the battleship. Which I was going to comment in the moment that someone had said in the comments that Isayama, who is the creator of Attack on Titan, had kind of based Mikasa kind of off of Rey and named her after a battleship. So I thought that was really cool. I thought that was a nice little trend there. But yeah, it becomes a sumo wrestler and that doesn't work. So god, this is amazing. So all right, we got one more part, and how are we going to do this? Oh my god, this is so good. Okay, we'll get this on here. All right, we're gonna start this here in 3, 2, 1. Oh my god. Oh, the enemy. We killed the last angel in episode 24, which was Kaworu, who's back. Are you afraid of me? Oh, you're still here? Why don't you go run and be a bad guy again? Oh, all in the name of love. Beautiful tragics like myself. Stay then. What the angels were was never really clear. Oh my god, we'll just be referencing this. The angels introducing themselves! Yes, please! Please! With the Jaws theme? Oh, it's Otto! Space angels under my power! This is actually Otto talking, isn't it? What? Oh my god. Oh my god. Clear as polished glass. Use a different color palette. Via the Whitehall Express. Oh my god, I can't. The disc angels I command. Oh my god. What? The backgrounds of space will be easier to draw! Oh my god. I want to see the angels. Mascot characters to contribute more. Can Pimpin speak Japanese? There you go, Shinji. What? Sounds like a gremlin! Oh god, stop him! Oh my god. Oh my god. Amazing. Feeling regret! Nerve gets destroyed in the first episode! A serial mystery series! The Eva brothers! Oh my god! Hot spring! Feeling regret! A musical, oh my god. And Asuka singing! It will ruin us. They switched, it should be Alba and Hugo switched in this episode. Oh my god. Wow. 3 birds with 1 stone. What the hell? We'll do it! Oh my god, for you! Oh my god. The most low budget, artistic Neon Genesis vision of all. This is amazing. They have great harmonies. harmonies, all these guys. Oh my god. Is there just not gonna be any text at all? Nothing said? I'm thoroughly impressed with their singing voices. Oh no. Brainstem rejection, just cut it off. What in the world? Was that the end? Yeah, I think it was. And then they play the ending song from Fly Me to the Moon. Wow. I'm really glad they included the this was released in 1996. Wow. Okay, so Ogata Megumi. I think it says a lot that some of these voice actors are still like Kiyosu Takahito. They're still speaking today. And Hideaki Anno. Okay. Yeah, it's uncertain what role he played. It could have been the kazoo at the end, but suspected he's the Black God. Okay, so it's not sure if it's him or not. Oh. No! Ian, you did awesome. Thank you. January 11th of 2002. Damn, that was so good. That was probably one of the better audio dramas I've listened to because it was so fast paced. It did not waste a second. And that's amazing. And of course, Huckleberry's going crazy. That is amazing. I've listened to some audio drama that had some downtime and you're kind of like, eh. But other than the black point at the end, but their harmonies were great. I really would like it though if Anno played the kazoo and that was like his only role in this. But no, that was so cool. I loved that so much. But yeah, just the idea of them trying to like, it's making fun of them making fun of the fact that people were complaining about the series. So like, what could we have done to make it better, right? And they go through all the different scenarios. I'm surprised they didn't go for a romance angle of it, but they kind of talked about the sex appeal at the beginning, so... And then Pin Pin speaking Japanese. Like, Pin Pin with, like, Shinji suggests that. And then they have Pin Pin say some lines. And Pin Pin sounds like the most bratty, like, manic pixie dream girl. Saying it's about goddamn time. I'm sitting beside you all throughout the whole meeting. How dare you ignore me until now? Like, Pin Pin's just pissed. I love it. And saying all the currents of times are pointing to us penguins. Penguins, I tell you, just pop me on a TV screen and you'll enter... And you'll get high school chicks from the four corners that are swarming saying he's so cute. Oh my God. I'll lay down the marketing plan. See first. And they're like, oh God, Asuka, stop him. That was amazing. And poor Kaworu was like, all these ideas lack grace. And then Asuka like slings a slur at him. Oh my God. And then they just decide to make it... I thought what they were getting at was to make it an audio drama, and that's what they do, but they were like, let's just do a black screen and make it as low budget as possible. Oh my God. That was... Honestly, I loved this so much. It was very short. It's probably like the shortest thing I've looked at for Neon Genesis, but it was really, really cute. I liked it a lot. That was really cute. Wow. I know there's lots of other things out there. Like there's lots of video games that have cutscenes and things like that. I'm going to be playing Girlfriend of Steel 2. So I feel like that's the only, like, that's the thing that's going to have some cutscenes. But it's hard, right? Because there's so much out there that I feel like you could fall down the rabbit hole quite easily. Right? Like there's like a whole playthrough. There's like a Shinji Raising project with like multiple endings that you can play through. I'm like, I don't know. Maybe I'm going to stick with the schedule I put on Patreon and YouTube right now because there's still so much content to get through. But even though this was kind of like a shorter one, to do, it was still a lot of fun. Like, I love this audio drama so much. I'm very curious to hear the comments down below because this came out a while ago. So I'm curious to hear everybody's comments about like the meta references, the production behind it, all of that. Some of it's pretty on the nose, right? But I like that Asuka, Shinji was really subdued and quiet throughout this. Like, Asuka was the main person taking center stage. And I love that Fuyu, like Gendo and Shinji, again, showing how similar Gendo and Shinji are, they kind of just stay, like Gendo just agrees with everything. And Shinji just tries to like offer us some advice up, but it ends up getting turned down. And then Asuka and Fuyu are the ones that really have like all the ideas that they're bouncing off. Wow. And Kaworu was there. I love that Kaworu was present. Is great. So yeah, so after this is going to be the next rebuild. Yeah, rebuild 2.22. So I'm pretty excited about that. And then following that, we'll do Girlfriend of Steel. So it'll be exciting. But I am very curious to know your thoughts down below, what you all thought of this. But I hope you all enjoyed. So in the meantime, I hope you all have a wonderful week. Please stay safe. Take care. And yeah, I'm going to be back very soon with the second rebuild of Neon Genesis Evangelion. Bye.